here's a question for you. How much of the plastic waste in your home can or do you recycle? And would you know what to do with the trickier items that maybe the council won't take away? Well, a new community eco-centre, which recently opened in Staffordshire, is encouraging everyone to cut down on the rubbish they send to landfill. And this one goes further than most, taking old plastics and moulding them into new products. Laura May McMullen reports.
Plastic is all around us and it can be put to good use. Here at the Globe Foundation Eco Centre in Uttoxeter, the containers are shredded, put in a mould and then baked in a special oven.
We then end up with a wonderful plastic bowl made from milk bottles and milk bottle tops with no waste going to landfill or polluting our environment.
Kate Copeland opened the Eco Centre 6 months ago. As well as recycling, she holds workshops about waste and goes into schools. There's also a shop where customers bring their own reusable containers.
It's quite important to reduce the amount of plastic that there is in circulation, but also what there is in circulation we need to kind of keep it there rather than throwing it into landfill.
I do believe that manufacturers shouldn't be using so much packaging. Very often organic fruit, for example, is packaged in several layers in a tray and then several layers of plastic over that. And that seems very wasteful.
And the war on plastics isn't going away. The government is proposing a tax by 2022 on all plastic packaging, and they also want to reduce confusion about what households can recycle.
There are always small changes that everyone can make, and at the end of the day it is everyone's responsibility, because we can't just rely on government and we can't rely on large industry to make all the changes, because it's us that are actually using the products. So we need to take responsibility for the waste that we are creating.
She's also calling for clearer labelling on products. Most plastics can be recycled, but Kate believes there's still a lot of confusion for consumers when deciding which bin is best. Laura May McMullen, BBC Midlands Today, Uttoxeter.
And our environment correspondent David Gregory Kumar joins us now. Why are some plastics so hard to recycle then?
Well, Laura touched on it in her report. There are up to 7 major types of plastics that could be recycled. They're actually numbered if you look closely on the bottles. And you see we do have a slightly confusing looking graphic here. You can see how complex this is. Now, number 1 is polyethylene terephthalate, or PETE. That's your soft drinks bottles. That's really easy to recycle. It can go round and round a loop, that plastic. But the trouble is, once it's mixed in with all those other plastics, it becomes harder to deal with. So Midlands Spring Water Companies, for example, would like to move to 100% recycled plastic for their bottles, but they're finding it quite hard to find pure sources of that number 1 PETE plastic. So once it's all mixed up, it becomes difficult.
And what about black plastic?
So the issue there is you can recycle it, but when it gets to the recycling plant, it's sorted by bouncing a beam of light off it. And the difficulty is, if it's plastic that's black, it absorbs the light, doesn't register, gets sent straight to landfill or off to incineration. So they're moving to pigments that can be detected. Meanwhile, in the Midlands, a company in Tipton that makes 100 million black plastic plant pots a year is shifting to these coloured plant pots. They're sort of taupe or mushroom coloured. These can go in your recycling when they start appearing in garden centres this year. The only problem is if a bin man or woman finds them in your recycling and doesn't know they can be recycled, they might reject the whole lot out of hand. So a bit of education is needed.
I have to say,
yes,
I find this all a bit confusing.
It is confusing, to be honest, and it varies hugely right across the Midlands, depending on your local authority. So now the government, DEFRA, is launching a consultation. They have a very jazzy, cheery graphic to announce it on social media. They want to know what we think about this, and should everything be standardised, to be honest. So there's an online survey you can take part in. If you search online for DEFRA Household Waste Collection, you can find that survey and you can fill it in and contribute to maybe solving the plastic problem. But you've only got until Monday to fill in that survey, Nick.
David, thank you very much indeed.